Hey everybody, Garrett here at BlizzCon. I am here with Brett, better known as Daybringer, and also Kyle. Deathwing is here, playable. I actually had a chance to stop by the Heroes panel yesterday. What I was hoping for was like a glimpse past Deathwing.
Yeah.
And I was not disappointed because that's exactly what I got. I'm really excited about the XP. Is it fair to call it an orb?
Yeah. XP globes, XP orbs.
Mini globes. Okay.
Also known as the new Nexus Anomaly.
We on our podcast have been talking about what potential ways like the lane and the XP game would be manipulated, because y'all have actually spent a lot of time, you, Daybringer, quite a bit actually in Reddit threads kind of hinting at things. And we're just like, there's too many rumblings. They're going to do something. So can you kind of take me through like how you reached this particular anomaly with the small XP globes? Was there anything else on the table that like just didn't quite work that led to this, or was this kind of the first idea and you tried it and it just happened to work? And I'm seeing a head shake, so I'm going to pass the mic over.
So this is a long time coming. We brought huge sweeping changes to the game with our yearly gameplay updates in the past. We wanted to try to get a little bit more targeted with this, and then we also knew that Deathwing was coming. It's probably going to bring an influx of new players. So how could we further educate the player base at the same time Deathwing is hitting? So we said, okay, well, for the first Nexus Anomaly, it's always taken... People didn't really always know how to collect the XP or what they're supposed to be doing with the minion wave, so we could combine these two things to hit at the same time and give both an education to the players that are coming in, as well as even making the actual laning experience for the solo lane that we've also gotten a lot of feedback that's kind of become stale over time, to be more exciting. And so it was a win-win, but we try to combine both of them to help all edges on that. Okay.
Yeah, and then the Nexus Anomalies, like in general, is a new system that allows us to be a lot more flexible with our typical gameplay updates that you've seen us do at the end of the year, where we'll have, a whole bunch of updates at once, and it kind of shakes things up quite a bit. But this allows us to be a bit more adaptable and flexible with what we do put out and how frequently we're able to do it.
Awesome. Do you have any kind of sense? I don't want you to carve anything in stone, but like, are we, in terms of anomalies and new anomalies coming in and new things that we get to test? Are we talking like 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, a year?
Yeah. So right now the goal is to kind of have these coming out with the season rolls. So right now our season roll schedule is basically once every 3 months. So
okay,
and then give or take a little bit based on how releases of other things are going. And
I think the important part here, especially with these anomalies, is that we want them to be a little bit more focused. So we'll listen to the community, the feedback that's given to us, and we'll also be playing it ourselves and kind of seeing where it's going. And if it's not working out, if there's something we think can be better, we can iterate on it at that point, or completely remove it and then bring in the next set of changes. So we have a lot more freedom to see what one particular set of things can do to the game, instead of bringing a whole bunch of them and then trying to figure out what was good and what was bad and what affected what. So this allows us to be a little bit more stable with the changes. Awesome.
That was actually going to be a follow-up, because like I was thinking about it, because I'm also a pretty big Hearthstone fan, and they're having an event going on right now where they brought wild cards in, and it's having quite the effect on the tournament at this exact moment. And some of us think, maybe you should have taken a few of those cards back a little bit. So I was going to ask. I was curious if it was like going to be locked in for the whole season, or if like it didn't work, you were like, get it out of there.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah, very cool. I like that kind of flexibility.
Yeah. And it keeps things feeling fresh too, like getting to put out changes that are more than just a single hero on a more regular basis. Just kind of keeps the game feeling fresh, gives players a reason to come check out like the new things that we're doing. So
awesome.
Yeah, we're really excited about it.
So like, again, I'm not expecting like a hard answer, but like any hints of any other type of anomalies? Like I'm assuming they're not going to all be XP focused.
Right.
So are we talking, I don't know, like number of minions in a lane, tower ammo maybe coming back with more ammo or less ammo? Like,
yeah. I mean, yeah, obviously not everything's going to be experience focused, but I don't know. You want to talk more to?
Sure. We have a list of, I think, 20 different anomalies that we're kind of thinking about and getting ready to iterate and try right now. And there's going to be a bunch more, and we're going to see that. But you mentioned tower ammo, which was kind of funny because that was in the game and ready to actually ship with the experience globes. We were going to turn it back on.
Oh.
And the team, we played with it. We brought it back in its old form, and everyone hated it. Like, we didn't realize how different the game was when Tower Ammo was there, and it was very slow to reload and everything. And so we even started tuning it. We tuned it to the point where it was reloading probably 15 to 20 times faster than the old versions, and it still felt like the game was just so completely different with it that we turned it right back off. And so we tried it. We thought it was like this is a home run. We're going to put experience globes back. We're going to turn ammo back on and bring back the nostalgia. And then we realized that we needed to back off of it, and so pull that out. And that's one of the things. Like, it would be cool to show the community that and to like bring it to them. But at the same time, if we had done that, it would have felt like the game, I think, would have been worse for doing so. So we decided not to.
That's wild. So you basically got to have an anomaly internally. You're like, oh, let's try it. Yeah. Oh, it's not working.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this anomaly is over.
Exactly.
Oh, that's very cool. Any experimentation with regen globes that you can talk about? Because we've been bouncing ideas around on just the fight around regen globes. And I think I can't remember if this was an internal thing on our show where we're like, oh, this would be cooler if I saw in a reply or a hint somewhere. But the idea of like when the wizard drops the regen globe, instead of it dropping where it died, it like puts it in range of the tower.
So it like falls backward. No, I was just trying to think of like it goes back towards the safe side, basically.
Sure. Mm-hmm. So we haven't done a whole bunch of experimentation on that, but I can say that again, another kind of anomaly thing that we tried was turning the wizards into sappers, which is something the community's asked for a whole bunch. And so the wizard we actually just swapped the models out and put sappers into them. So they would run at the tower, blow up, and they'd drop the globe there, which kind of delivered the globe to the enemy sometimes, because if they were losing the lane or hiding, that they would be able to just pop around the gate and grab it. Sure, which was kind of cool too. But it ended up making, again, the game is in such a stable spot right now, and it feels so good that anything that kind of changes the laning aspect or even the pace of the game can really throw everything, like all the map timings off and everything else when towers are starting to fall earlier and stuff like that. And so it just we weren't able to get it tuned to the right spot that we felt that was cool, but it was a really good idea, and we heard it from the community, and so we wanted to try it. And so we're always trying these things that the community is suggesting that we think could be a lot of fun. Yeah. It's just sometimes it doesn't quite work out.
During the panel, the ranked screen on stage, it appeared to show unranked removed, and Brawl kind of moved up in the hierarchy. Is unranked going away, or is a merge happening, or am I just reading into a screenshot too much?
I honestly had no idea.
Oh, okay.
So it's news to us. It's news to us if this is actually happening.
Okay, good. Interesting. Okay, maybe it was just a internal build. Now, Kyle Ferguson, the other host on Into the Nexus, is probably the largest, most raging Dungeons and Dragons fan I have ever known in my entire life, and he would be remiss if I did not ask. Deathwing, there seems to be multiple direct calls to dragons and how they behave in D&D, especially with the fear. He wants to know, who is the D&D nut job on the team, and can they be friends?
Well, I do love me some D&D. But so Deathwing's fear specifically is actually the same fear that Onyxia and Nefarian use, who are Deathwing's children. And it's literally called Bellowing Roar in WoW. So it was kind of a callback to that. Which may be something that was inspired by... I
have a feeling that's likely.
Yeah, of course, right? Like, dragons are pretty well known for AoE fears, and it just felt like pretty cool for Deathwing to have something like that. And, honestly, we hadn't done another fear in the game since Gul'dan, so it was like, man, this is perfect, because dragons do this. It's really cool, and it's something that was provided a lot of utility for him. And it was just cool to do another one, but... yeah, it wasn't like a direct, I guess, rip or, yeah.
Not a one-to-one, homage.
Right, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. And now just, want to talk as much as you can, and, if you can't answer, just let me know. We can cut it out. But, looking at the future, I'm just, curious, has any new updates or changing in thinking as to frequency of updates? Maybe something as, well known as how frequently new heroes will release, or even balance updates to the game, or is anything shifting, getting further in between, or happening sooner than usual?
I think for the coming year, we're still working on new heroes. We're still doing, lots of reworks around the pipe. We still have events coming throughout the year. So in terms of like cadence, it's pretty much staying where it's at, give or take a little bit here and there, depending on, how we're feeling with, things playing out in the future. I think we're actually in a really good spot right now, where
I agree.
Yeah, like we're putting out these changes and they actually have some time to breathe a little bit. If you look back a couple of years, we were releasing content so fast that by the time the community was finally starting to sink their teeth into a new piece of content or understand a new hero, here's the next hero, and then here's the next hero, and then here's the next hero. And it kind of it was just this constant state of change, and it was hard to really appreciate the changes that we were adding to the game just because there were so many. So as it is right now, I feel like we're in a really good spot, and I just feel like we're finding our groove with the way things are now, and yeah, we're feeling pretty good about it.
I'll add to that. Yeah, I think Kyle's completely right. I'll say that the team is also in a spot right now where we have the freedom to really listen and communicate with the community, and then take everything that they want from the game, and then as the developers say, how can we give as much of that to them as possible? And we're at a spot where we're at a size that we can pivot quickly if we need to, and to get the best content, the most impactful content to the game as quick as possible, which isn't always super easy when you have a massive team that's like a big engine moving forward. We're really nimble right now, and we're really passionate, so we're able to change on a dime if we want. And we have multiple heroes in being made right now. We have all of the stuff that you guys are used to having. It's just a matter of when should we drop it and when we get it to you.
Yeah. And I think things like the Nexus Anomaly system is going to allow us to deliver even more of that flexibility in some interesting ways.
Kind of brought it back to my mind because I haven't really been thinking about it because we've not had a lack of things to talk about, to have roundtables about and really dig into. It feels like right about the time where we feel like the meta is kind of solved is when a new balance match comes in, or even a new hero. So yeah, we've been. I'm just trying to sit here and tell you you're awesome, but good job this year. We've been really happy.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, so I guess kind of before we kind of wrap up here, I lost my train of thought because I was just talking about cadence, which we kind of say is a scary word, but
it's a scary word.
As soon as Kyle said cadence,
don't say it.
But I remember now because during your panel yesterday, you were talking about all of the different ideas that had been kind of thrown around in regards to Deathwing, what Deathwing was going to be, and one of them was a battleground.
Yeah.
So, speaking of battlegrounds, are there any new battlegrounds in development?
Not at this time.
Okay.
No. The whole thing where we were talking about Deathwing being a map, it was kind of just when we were laying all the ideas out on the table, we're looking at, these are all the forms of Deathwing that we could potentially chase after, and which of these makes the most sense for our game and for what the community is looking for and for what we're looking for and what we want to develop. The Spine of Deathwing encounter in World of Warcraft is you're literally on Deathwing's back and he's carrying you through the skies, and it's a really awesome encounter. And a lot of people would bring that up when you say, hey, how do you envision Deathwing in Heroes of the Storm? They're like, he's so big, you're on him, right? He's got to be a map. And then, other people would be like, well, he's totally infested with old god corruption. So, it was trying to figure out which version of Deathwing to bring in. And that was just one of the ideas that was kind of, thrown around. So
on the topic of maps as well, it's we're always doing changes to maps. We want to be bringing some balance changes to maps. And I know that I talked about it a little bit earlier in an interview, but Blackheart's Bay and Haunted Mines are things that some people really, really love. A lot of people, not so much, but some people, those are their favorite maps. And we have been doing a lot of internal testing with changing the layout or changing the way the mechanics work in those maps. But as of right now, it's we haven't found anything that really hits home. And until we do, we will. I know that we will. There will be an eventual time where we're just this feels right. And when that is the right time, then they'll come back to the place that they need to be.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much, I'm surprised how many questions y'all answered. I was ready for you to be no, we can't talk about that. So thank you so much for your time, and thank you for an awesome year of Heroes of the Storm. We weren't sure coming in 2019, and we've just been time and time again surprised and impressed.
Yeah,
everything that's been going on.
Yeah, we still have, very dedicated, passionate team, and we have a very dedicated and passionate player base and fan base, and we're excited to continue to deliver awesome stuff to them and to you, and we're huge fans of the game too. So, we're still here, we're still kicking. Yeah.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, and we'll get you on the show again, hopefully sometime soon.
It'd be great.
Right.